Your Honor, this man is guilty. I have no evidence yet, but I know he is guilty. I can sense it.
I know some people have a heightened sixth sense, but how do you prove that to the jury or the judge? You need evidence. The same goes for reading and answering comprehension questions. Understanding the text is the first step to unlocking your ability to answer any question. However, for evidence-based reading, the examiner wants to know how you arrived at your answers. This is the point where you need to present evidence. To do so, you would need to present details from the text that have helped you decide on your answer. Your answer, supported with details from the text, provides a logical response to the question. Let's practice. The once vibrant house sat bare in the midst of the overgrown lawn. Unruly blades of grass shot up to the sky at awkward angles, making the house look even more stout. One broken window hanging by a single hinge occasionally creaked in obedience to the wind. Marie would have to return to living in this house alone. The looming malicious murmurs and prying eyes of old neighbors did not seem inviting either. Life would never be the same. Now, which option best describes the passage? A quiet and abandoned house breeds prying eyes? Lack of constant lawn mowing makes a house look stout in the midst of overgrown weeds? Having nosy neighbors can make life miserable. Or the character Marie would have to return to a house she once abandoned. Now, although the house seems to have been abandoned, option A does not correctly summarize the passage. Option B is true, but does not cover the entire message in the text. Option C, if true, was not discussed in the text either. Option D is the correct answer. It captures the entire text. In the passage, we learn of a character, Marie, who would have to return to the abandoned house described as once vibrant, but now sat bare. Question 2. From the passage, we can deduce that something pleasant had happened. The house was once filled with people and activities. Marie used to live in the house. The former occupants of the house had nice neighbors. Have you chosen any answer, or should I say answers? Option A is highly unlikely. Why? The text makes mention of malicious murmurs, prying eyes, and life not being the same. Option B is correct. Where's the evidence? In the first sentence, which says the house was once vibrant. Option C is also correct because the text mentions her return and old neighbors. And as for option D, we have no information on the former occupants or what kind of neighbors they had. Question 3. Do you think it is Marie's decision to return to the house? Give a reason according to the text. First, state your thoughts. I do not think it is Marie's choice to return to the house. Then, present the evidence. I do not think it is Marie's choice to return to the house because the verb phrase would have to suggest an activity done out of compulsion without a choice. Do you see any other evidence we could have used? Absolutely. The looming malicious murmurs and prying eyes of old neighbors. I think she would have wanted to avoid that altogether and stayed away from the house. No one wants to be the object of prying eyes and malicious murmurs. And the final question, what is the predominant figure of speech used in the text? Give at least 3 examples as used in the text. I'll give you 20 seconds to answer this. The predominant figure of speech is personification. Do you remember the function of personification? It is that figure of speech which gives human attributes to non-humans or inanimate objects. Spot any examples yet? Well done, champ. With evidence reading, guessing an answer is almost impossible. You will always be required to supply the reason for your answer from the given text. Practice more to improve your reading skills, and I'll see you in the next lesson.